Hi, I'm Jane Miller for Acoustic Guitar Magazine, and I'm here with my friend Brian Parent, and we're going to play some duets for you, continuing from the theme from last month. This month, we're going to expand on what we did in month one, but using the same melody in different ways. We're going to incorporate counterpoint reading, which is interesting because we have to listen to each other for time, but also ignore each other. We did a little bit of that in lesson one as well. So one of the things to review would be the standard notation concept. The hand positions are written in Roman numerals above the staff, so second fret position would show the Roman numeral 2. The fingerings are just the numbers you see that are not circled. Circled numbers stand for strings. So continuing on that, we just have some different rhythms now dividing up the examples. Example 1 is just a G major scale in part 2, while the first player is playing the familiar melody that we did last month. So, yeah, let's start that, Brian.
Okay.
Good to go?
Great.
3, 4. Nice. So it harmonized, and but you heard the familiar melody. Let's trade parts so we get practice reading each.
Great.
Get practice reading each thing. 1, 2, 3, 4. Nice. Example 2 introduces power chords, and the way they're notated is root 5 root again. Just they're vertical indications of the notes instead of horizontal the way a melody would be. But these are probably familiar chords to a lot of players, when we play power chords like that, right? So this is just how they're shown in notation. And power chords don't have a third in them, so meaning they don't indicate major or minor, but those qualities will be implied based on the melody and how we've come to know the song itself. This will sound like it's going to C, B minor, G, D, but they're just power chords. Can you take part 2 first?
Yes.
Brian, here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, a nice accompaniment part, the way you would expect, like a chord and melody duet rather than all single lines between both parts. Let's trade.
Okay.
1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah. Example 3 breaks up the melody between each part. So part 2 begins the line, part 1 finishes. It's like when you finish each other's sentences, there's a theme developing, and it's, its own sort of counterpoint. We're just completing the thought. 3, 4. Yeah. Want to trade?
Sure.
All right, here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4. Cool. So these are all good practice examples that you can use with a friend, and the idea is to keep going in time. If you need to drop out and find where the other person is to come back, that's good practice because we're practicing the forward motion of sight reading, and we're not really going back to practice as we would in a rehearsal. Although we might do some of that too, but if you're really wanting to work on your sight reading, that tends to be more about the forward motion. Example 3 has the part 2 is steady quarter notes, so that's sort of the timekeeping role in this one. So I'll take part 1, you take part 2.
Sure.
1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, and we trade.
Okay.
1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, so you hear how the parts, especially in the second measure, the parts really fit together. You know, they're not lining up, but they're fitting together, you know, in the different rhythms. After trying those examples, we have a longer piece to play as an etude that uses the ideas from these examples. Duets 2 is the title. And it just incorporates some of the different rhythms, the counterpoint that we talked about. It's got a few power chords. Things to watch for are again, the Roman numerals for position markings, especially with regard to those power chords, because they move around a couple of times. And then in measure 12, there's some accidentals to watch for. All right, so here's Duets 2. I have part 1, Brian's taking part 2. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, nice. I especially like the bass line in measure 13, which again implies some chords that you might hear a bass player do or on guitar when we play bass for each other. So it's implying E minor there and then A minor here, which you could use with your fourth finger on A or open A if you prefer, as long as your hand is staying generally in that second fret position. So we could play that like, right? We're hearing like an E, then an A, and then the B to F sharp, which sounds like might be B minor. So all of these bass lines kind of imply the movement of the chords, especially in combination with the melody. 1, 2, 3, 4. All right, thank you, Brian, for doing this. It was a lot of fun to get together. And it's hard to believe Brian was once a student of mine because now I learned from him, but it was great to get together to do some duets for you. And I hope you get your calendars out and book a duet date with your guitar playing friends. Next month, we'll do more counterpoint and we're going to change the key and get into some more playing together in time, which is what sight reading is all about. Thank you, Brian Parent. And for acoustic guitar, I'm Jane Miller. Thanks for watching.